Hello everybody, you lucky suds. I've washed my barnet, so in its full glory at the minute. Untameable. Freshly shampooed. Anyway, and a smart little shirt to follow it. Today I've decided to go back to the bottled stouts, and I'm going to be reviewing Abbey Stout from JJs Craft Brewing, based in Ireland. Now, my lovely glass here, let's get the pour on because I'd like this to settle a bit before I do. So, Mark, I'll be happy. I got a bottle opener for Christmas with the old toucan from the other Irish stout maker. So, here we go. There we are, we're in picture good. Just a regular stout. I've done a few recently, more craft beery flavour, mixtures of marshmallow and toffee and whatnot. And I've just gone back to regular stout. Now, let that sit for a minute. Lovely and dark. Let's hold it out for a little bit longer there. Look at that. Lovely glass that. Build my muscles up holding that one up. Right, now, JJs Craft Brewing is based in Southern Ireland, sort of mid-country. It's 35 miles from Tipperary, so it's not a long way for them, and 35 kilometres, and 35 kilometres south of Limerick. Now, Limerick is a place that me and the Maestro Mickens have visited many years ago on a university trip, and we thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. I've lucky enough to have been to Ireland a couple of times. I've been to Dublin and Limerick, and visited a couple of other places when we were over there, and I'd love to go back again one day. It was really special place. People were really welcoming, really friendly. The stout was good, and it was everything we could have wished for when we went over. I haven't been there for probably, well, it's definitely over 10 years, so long overdue a trip. When I go next time, I'm going to go for at least 2 weeks. I'd love to get a camper van and tour around the whole of Ireland, and maybe Northern Ireland as well, get the whole experience. So if anyone from America is ever thinking of going to Ireland, you've got the DrayMen's knowledge recommendation behind you. So this is JJ's Craft Brewing. Let me get a taste of this. Oh, there's a lovely scent to it. Not overpowering, but there's definitely a scent there. It's got the chocolatey aroma that you'd expect from a stout. It's not creamy. It's a flat stout. How I would say it is. It's quite a nice taste, well, watery if you want, not creamy. Like an original stout. Now, let's get into this a little bit. JJ's Craft Brewing is set up by a couple of chaps, John Goughlin and Jim Lynch, hence the JJ. They've been in the trade for many years. In fact, they design and install microbreweries all over Ireland and have various links to hospitality and food industries. And a few years back, 4 or 5 years back, they decided to have a little go themselves. So they set up in Kilmallock, and they've got a brewery there that's doing pretty well in the last few years. It's spread out. It does a number of different beers, including lagers and IPAs, and it's in a fairly modern industrial estate. When I've had a little look online, and it's got a lovely modern building with a lovely sort of modernish looking tap room where all their beers are on draft, and they have got a simple philosophy to produce craft beers full of aromas, full of flavours to be enjoyed by all. Simple as that. They use ingredients, as many Irish ingredients in their beer making and brewing as they can. Endeavour to use as many of those Irish ingredients. They're very proud Irishmen, and the brewery looks good. It does tours of it, very reasonable tour. Now let me just break this down for you. For €10 you get a tour that lasts an hour. You get to meet the brewers, you get to tour the obviously the brewery itself, and at the end of it you get to pick a bottle of your choice for €10. Now in English money that's about £8.25 ish, and in American money it's about 12 and a quarter bucks, something like that, about $12. So that's good value, I think. A whole hour's tour, getting to see the different brewing techniques and getting right in there and having a right good look, and then choosing a beer at the end. Now we always say this, we'd love to go. I would love to go, and if I do this tour, then it's certainly in mid-southern Ireland that could stop there, so we'll see about that anyway. So if anyone knows of Dublin in Ireland and that's all they know of, it's quite far from Dublin. It's a couple of 100 kilometres, so it's in the more rugged part of Ireland, the southern part. All of Ireland's beautiful, but particularly beautiful countryside around there. Now these other beers that they do, just to mention a few like I always like to do, they do one a Gary Owen IPA. They do a lager called Hugo's Lager. They do a Pearl Dubber Oyster Stout. Now I haven't seen that one, but I would like to try that one. And they also have recently done slightly different, a Blossom Gate Mead, if anyone's that way inclined. This beer is a 4.2%. Now, there's another reason that I chose it. Let me just get into it a bit more. I'm waffling. I'm like Marco, talking, not drinking. Pretty nice. Now, the other reason I picked this beer was we're in lockdown at the minute over in good old Britain, and lots of the places are shut. And I think I've said before about how hard it is to get sort of craft beers. There is a shop locally in town, but in general, because there's not many off licenses anymore, it tends to be supermarkets, or you have to order them on the internet. So a lot of the beers that I do pick up and have reviewed before have been one-offs in supermarkets, and a couple from the craft beer shop, as I've said. But we have a shop over in the UK called Home Bargains. Now, people might sneer at Home Bargains. It tends to do value stuff, and it's good value on all products that you can buy. And it has a food aisles, and it does beer and wines and things like that. But it has ones that might be in there a little bit. Now, they always do. Home Bargains, as it suggests, is do bargains. This bottle was 99p. That is a good deal. Some beers you get in there that are cheap, you've had them and they're rough as anything, you know. On some beers they're in there for a limited time only because they've bought the end of the batch, you know, maybe a short shelf life on it, and they knock them out. I mean, I bought some Red Stripe lager in there, the Jamaican lager, 55p a can. You can't beat that. It's beautiful. Little one to watch in front of the telly. Couple of them, and they're stubby fuckers like you get over there. It's tickled Marco's fancy, but you know, it's nothing to knock at. And I think especially some of these brewing companies, you know, it's a good way to get their stuff out there. You go into a craft beer shop, there's a lot of different beers, and you might pick one or two and that, but if you can get them in the other places, get people that are not really into stuff like that, maybe pick the normal stuff to try one of your beers, they're more likely, if they enjoy it, to go and have a look like me and Marco do and research it and try another couple of your beers and find out a bit more about yourself, rather than the endless aisles of supermarket things. The ones in Home Bargains tend to be a bit of a smaller selection, and this one was there, so I got it, and I'm glad I did. It's nice. Don't get me wrong, we're real reviewers. It's a nice stout, but it's not a top-notch stout for me. Tasting it, I could drink this again, and I would drink it again. I would go a mark on this one. I'm going to give it a 7.5 because it's great value for money. 99p. You can't really beat that for a good bottled stout. And hats off to the guys over there. You know, within a few years they're not flooding the market, that's the wrong thing, but they're certainly getting out there. Home Bargains have got many stores in Great Britain, and it's a good way to get their name out there. I think it's a fantastic thing that they've done, and I love finding these little places. I mean, I'd never heard of JJs. Home Bargains now pointing me in their direction. I'm telling you guys out there about it. If you've got one near you, just go and get a bottle and enjoy it for yourself. Cheers to everyone. I hope my hair calms down for the next review. I'm getting more and more like Doc from Back to the Future. But anyway, take care everybody, and look out for those bargains, because you might come across a gem. Cheers.